Well, today, everybody, we're going to be checking out Nick Nocturnal's brand new plugin, and it certainly caught me by surprise, and it's not something that I thought would ever happen or something I would expect, but it's pretty rad nonetheless. Today, we're going to be checking out Nocturnal Bass from Submission Audio. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Let me start off this video by saying this. There is no sponsorship, no strings attached, no affiliation with Submission Audio, nor Nick Nocturnal, okay? Long story short, Submission Audio reached out to me last year at the end, like early December, and said, hey, we have this new plugin coming out in the beginning of the new year. If you want to check it out, by all means, you're more than welcome to, okay? So, yeah, no strings attached, nothing I have to say or do other than just to show this product out and just hang out with you guys, okay? So, why is this interesting? Why is this surprising? Well, to me, in my own little experience with Nick Nocturnal, I've always known him as being a guitar player, right? So, the fact that a MIDI bass plugin is coming out with Nick Nocturnal's name on it is interesting. It's not a bad thing, but like, you know, when I saw that he has a Nocturnal bass, MIDI bass plugin coming out, I was super surprised, but at the same time, I'm really stoked because MIDI bass instruments are something that I use every single day. So you guys who follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube and TikTok as well, anytime I've done like a short or any sort of demo, I've been using the Nocturnal bass in the background behind the scenes without you guys really knowing it. And anytime I've been doing any sort of pre-pro for my next endeavor as a solo artist, I've been writing a whole bunch of different riffs and been using my Ultralux Stratocaster and been really married to the whammy bars of late. So yeah, man, like be on the lookout for that in 2024. I've got like a whole bunch of different riffs lined up and a whole bunch of different songs lined up. But yeah, I've been using exclusively the Nocturnal Bass plugin with all that stuff. And a lot of you guys reach out to me from time to time and say, hey, dude, you got any original music? Yeah, man, follow me on Spotify, follow me on wherever you stream your music, okay? And my music's here on YouTube as well. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this plugin. I'm just going to dive into a quick little walkthrough in one of my mixes, one of my demos that I've been working on, and to show you guys how I use this plugin, okay? Alright everybody, so this will go pretty quick, man. Like I said, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I just wanted to show you guys a quick little demo song and just, you know, play with the Nocturnal Bass, okay? So here's a little track that I actually uploaded on the Instagram and did an Instagram reel, and, you know, doing some pre-pro for, you know, my next endeavors. Anytime I do any sort of, you know, original music, this is usually what I do. I just come up with some demos and some riffs and stuff like that. So here's the full-on mix with the Nocturnal Bass. So I think that sounds pretty sick. Really into the whammy bar stuff anymore. So let's just focus on the bass stuff and not focus on the mix or anything like that. Here's the bass soloed. I'm using the preset Thick Sugar, which is the only one that I really use because it sounds sick and it has a cool name. So I have it dialed in here where it's like, you know, very anti-human. Right here we have like a humanized kind of knob, and you can, as you turn it up, it says machine, human, and then bassist. I just keep it on machine, but let's just play it with the humanized knob all the way to the right, see what happens. Honestly, it really doesn't even do that much to my ears. Maybe it's not as like staccato and on the nose. Maybe it's a little bit more dynamic. I don't know, dude. But, you know, maybe in other endeavors that'll be a little bit more prominent. You can hear the difference. We have a doom button here, which I'm assuming has just more a solid low end. It's pretty subtle, if anything. And then we go into the mixer. Now we can dial in, you know, some different aspects of the tone, like compression, drive, girth, all the above. And from my own experience with dialing in a bass tone, whether it's real bass or a MIDI bass, it's always a balance between like getting clank and, you know, having low end, because the bass is ultimately in charge of holding down the low end. But for me personally, like, I like a ton of clank, not only in my guitar tone, but also in my bass tone. And when you can mesh them and marry them together, it's sick. So like, that's kind of why I like this really distorted bass tone, the Thick Sugar preset, because it has that gnarly, like, unpleasant sound almost. Like, to the untrained ear, you know, one could argue that like this sounds disgusting. It doesn't sound like really smooth. It sounds gnarly. So I kind of like that a lot. And one final thing I want to show you guys I've been toying around with here in my projects and my pre-pro stuff is I use Slate Digital all the time. I love Slate Digital. But there's this preset in the virtual mix rack called Metal Bass, and it's right here. I've since bypassed the compressor because we already have compression going on in the nocturnal bass. But when I unsolo the bass and then I have this preset running, which is essentially just very specific EQ moves and essentially just adding some really gross high-end stuff, it sounds sick. So, you know, it's such a night and day difference when I turn off virtual mix rack and I just have nocturnal bass. You know, I've since tweaked Thick Sugar. When you have a ton of gnarliness in your bass tone, it just meshes so well with your guitar and the mix and all that stuff. So I really, really dig it. I guess I'll just go and try out like Respect the Chunk. You know, let's just see what this is, just to give you guys a different preset perspective and potentially how I might use this. So all in all, everybody, you know, I've been using this bass for literally over a month now, ever since Submission Audio allowed me to check it out. I'm super thankful for it. And I really sincerely dig this thing a lot, man. You know, it seems like, you know, MIDI bass as a guitar player, like MIDI bass is the way to go. A lot of my peers do it. And, you know, not that it matters what other people are doing, but like, it just sounds so sick, dude. It just sounds way better in my opinion. For somebody who's not a bass player to just use one of these versus, you know, like a cheapy bass tone or anything like that, because, you know, I already use MIDI drums with my solo stuff, and then just adding MIDI bass kind of in the background, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that. I kind of dig it, especially if I don't own any basses and or I'm not a bass player that has like a really expensive bass rig and all that stuff. So, you know, it's a fun tool and it's a writing tool, and it just, you know, helps out my production and helps out everything that I've been doing over the last, you know, give or take, you know, month and a half since I've had this bass plugin. So everybody, that's going to do it for this video. So quick little walkthrough to show you guys how I've been getting my bass tones lately and how I've been using nocturnal bass. I haven't really dove too deep into it because I know there's a whole bunch of different ins and outs, but that's not what this video is for. This video is just for you guys and just showing you how I get my bass tone and what I use it for and how I use it, all the above. So if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you so much in advance. And with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got some really cool content coming up, and I can't wait to share it with you all. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Later.